This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking no else, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change, yeah. Tell them that's life, yeah, it's still of it. I'm taking a shot for my enemies. I can't waste no more time on my energy. I know they know I got it on lock. Go against me, that's a long shot. Cause I'm counting wins all around the clock. Never doubt me, boy, I don't stop. Who do you feel when they make you the monster? I am not scared of none of you imposters. Taking the lead now while they watching. Think you should leave now while the option. Taking no else, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down, no.
Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mac, and today we are going to talk about Hoops Hype's top 30 centers for the 2024-25 seasons. A list that I felt was pretty damn accurate, although some took umbrage to it. Our own Jarrett Allen was ranked 12th among the 30 best centers in the NBA for the 2024-25 season. And as I'm looking at this list, right, as I first saw the list come out, I'm like, okay, it's a no-brainer. Nikola Jokic has to be listed as the best center in basketball. He has pretty much redefined what a center is in today's modern game with his ability to basically function as an offensive hub. He's coming off a season in which he just averaged 26.4 points, 12.4 rebounds, 9 fucking assists as a center, 1.4 steals, and just under 1 block per game, while shooting 58.3% from the field, including a respectable 35.9% from three-point distance in 79 games. Unquestionably the best player in basketball right now. And you can make an argument for others, but I really just don't think that you can find a player right now who is more impactful, who means more to their team. I don't know. That's just my thought on Jokic, but he is definitely well-deserved right there. At number 2, you have Joel Embiid, who's coming off a monstrous season of his own, albeit in just 39 games, looking like an MVP candidate prior to his injury, but 34.7 points per game, 11 boards, 5.6 assists. This is another guy who functions as an offensive hub, right? 52.9% from the field and 38.8% from three-point distance during that span of time. And had he been healthy during the 2023-24 season, or at least the duration of it, or enough to get past the 65-game requirement, I think he honestly wins his second MVP, and it probably would have been well-deserved. At number 3, you have Anthony Davis, Los Angeles Lakers star over there alongside LeBron James. 24.7 points per game, 12.6 boards, 3.5 assists, 55.6% from the field, and didn't necessarily shoot so great from three-point distance at 27.1%, but at the end of the day, he still has the ability to space the floor, so that definitely helps. You got Wemby at number 4, coming off a phenomenal rookie season where he averaged 21.4 points per game, 10.6 boards, 3.9 assists, 1.2 steals, and a monstrous 3.6 blocks, 46.5% from the field, 32.5% from three-point distance. Looking like a generational player that he was touted to be coming out of France. I mean, this dude, there was nothing else he could have done to showcase just how well suited that he is for today's game. Domantas Sabonis, a guy, in my opinion, who just does not get enough respect when you're talking about some of the best bigs in basketball. He's ranked number 5. You have Bam Adebayo, have no problem with that, at number 6. You have Rudy Gobert, who... Whenever I think about Rudy Gobert, I cannot help but think about the COVID just the terrible antics that he showcased and displayed at the time of the COVID-19 pandemic, the microphone rubbing, just there's just something about Rudy Gobert that gets under my skin. But regardless, I don't too much have a problem with him being ranked number 7. 14 points per game, 12.9 boards, 2.1 blocks per game this past season. And whether or not you look at his game and feel like he just doesn't fit what the modern NBA is all about, his impact on the court, especially from a defensive standpoint, can't really be overstated. He is one of the best anchors, if not the best anchor on the defensive side of the ball in all of basketball. He's right up there. Number 8, I was a little bit surprised by this. Alperen Sengun, who is coming in at number 8. And honestly, you have the groundwork here for a star, maybe a superstar in the future. 21.1 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, 5 assists. The man, just like Joel Embiid and Jokic before him, he is capable of functioning as an offensive hub. They will run offense through him at times, and you can see why. He can space the floor. He's efficient with his looks inside. He has somewhat of a mid-range game to him. He can face up. He can obviously pass the ball and facilitate very, very well. It's not necessarily something that I foresaw coming when he was drafted, but definitely well-deserved at this point in time. Chet Holmgren is at number 9. Not much to say about Chet, honestly. This dude, that injury that he suffered really kind of put him at the back of everybody's mind. And when he had his true rookie season, he balled out. 16.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, shot 37% from three-point distance, and played all 82 games. Did not expect that from him, but man, he was a baller this past season and a big reason why OKC did as well as they did. So props to him. Coming in at number 10 is KP Kristaps Porzingis for Boston, who didn't quite manage to suit up for the 65-game requirement that probably would have made him eligible for a number of awards this past season, but he was clearly impactful for Boston when he was out there. 20.1 points per game, 7.2 boards, 2 assists, 1.9 blocks, shot 37.5% from three-point distance. Man just did a lot of things out there. He did play like an all-star, but he did miss so much time, and I'm not going to hold that against him. Miles Turner, and this is where we really get to the conversation that I wanted to have in today's pod. Miles Turner is listed at number 11. His 2023-24 stat line reached 17.1 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.9 blocks. He shot 52.4% from the field and 35.8% from three-point distance in 77 games. Now here is where we have some of a disconnect on many people's minds, right? This is where a lot of people would probably start to disagree with where the rankings go, at least in terms of Cavaliers fans. Jarrett Allen being listed at number 12 right behind him. The question for me, folks, is who do you define? Well, how do you define who is better than the other? How do you define that? Who actually makes a better case for being better than the other? And I think when I look at these two players, there's a stark contrast in a certain particular area, and that is the ability to space the floor. Now, Miles Turner is by no means a sharpshooter. He did shoot just 35.8% from the three-point distance this past season, but he does unquestionably have the ability to space the floor. That is something that Jarrett Allen has shown early on in his career, but has not necessarily been able to do it for the whole duration, right? And when you look at Turner, he is a career 35.4 shooter from three-point distance. He has touch, right? He can shoot for the mid-range. He can attack you at the rim. And he can knock shots down, mostly catch and shoot above the break triples. And it's not necessarily coming in high volume. Just 4.2 attempts this past season. He is averaging 3 attempts for his career, but that is far and away exceeding anything that Jarrett Allen has been able to do in that faucet. Now, On the opposite end of the floor, he is a high-level rim protector, right? The one thing that I would say Jarrett Allen, well, actually, I'll give him two. I'll give Jarrett Allen two legs up on, this doesn't make any sense at all, but I'll give Jarrett Allen a leg up in the areas of being able to be switchable. Because I do feel like as much praise as we give to Evan Mobley for his switchability out there, being able to defend not only the rim, but to step out onto the perimeter and defend smaller, quicker players out in space, that same skill set lies within Jarrett Allen. And we have seen Jarrett Allen do that time and time again, although he just does not get the credit that Evan Mobley has gotten. That said, Miles Turner is a gifted rim deterrent himself, right? He may not be able to switch out into perimeter the way that Mobley can and Allen can, but he is one of the best rim deterrents in the league. He is averaging a career 2.2 blocks per game across his, now it's nearly 10 seasons in the league. He has been with Indiana for 9 years now, and it probably isn't going to stop anytime soon in terms of his ability to block shots at the basket. His career high in that area is 3.4 blocks per game not too long ago, where he finished 9th in Defensive Player of the Year award rankings. And to me, I think you can offset some of the things here, right? Miles Turner's ability to space the floor may balance out the fact that he cannot defend in space the way that Jarrett Allen can. His ability to provide floor spacing and open up the floor for an Indiana Pacers team does not come without its disadvantages as well, right? You can't necessarily depend on him to be a high-level rebounder out there. He has averaged just 6.8 rebounds for his entire career compared to Jarrett Allen, who has just been a monster on the glass, especially since he came to Cleveland. He's coming off a season in which he just averaged 10.5 boards, and he averages 9.1 for his career. But the differences between the two, the game between the two is pretty clear, right? Allen plays close to the basket. He has the bulk of his attempts, if not damn near 90% of them, will come from 5 feet from the basket and maybe slightly beyond that, maybe in that 5 to 9 foot range. Miles Turner, on the other hand, will give you shots from all areas of the half court, right? Whether that be from 5 feet and within, from 5 to 9, the mid-range area, and 24 feet and beyond. We're talking about the perimeter. He will do more in terms of his offense, his offensive versatility out there. And so the efficiency is not going to be looking nearly as high as when you look at Jarrett Allen. He's a career 63% from the field, 63.4% this past season. And Miles Turner, you just can't, it's not going to look the same. 52.4% from the field this season, 50.2% from the field overall during the entirety of his career. And so it's never going to look quite as efficient because Turner is not taking as many high quality or, makeable shots out there because he's not nearly as close to the rim as Jarrett Allen is. And so there's kind of a give and take here. What do you depend upon more? What do you value more? Do you value the high quality looks and efficiency that Jarrett Allen gives you, but the lone drawback being that he is not going to provide you floor spacing? Or do you value the floor stretching ability on lower efficiency that Miles Turner can bring you? To me, I think it's highly dependent upon the players that surround both Jarrett Allen and Miles Turner. If you can surround Jarrett Allen with high efficiency shooting and floor stretching, his game becomes even more indispensable. His ability to protect the rim, his ability to space the floor vertically, his ability to operate within the confines of the pick and roll, run the floor, give you some DHO actions. There's a lot that he can bring to the table in that regard, as long as he has a forward next to him that can actually space the floor. Where it begins to hurt is when the paint gets clogged and you have two non-shooting bigs, as has been a constant complaint between the front court pairing rather of Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. And so that's a valid argument. When you look at Miles Turner, some would suggest that you can't necessarily play him alongside another big because of his play style. And it's fair. It's fair to question, does the floor stretching or floor spacing ability that it provides, does it actually make Indiana a better team? I would say yes, because it opens the floor up across the board for drivers, especially Tyrese Halliburton, right? It's just something that Jarrett Allen has not been able to showcase. But the high efficiency, high effort that Jarrett Allen gives you on both ends of the floor, although limited in its capacity, that matters a lot within the context of who is beside him. And so it is all completely dependent upon the eye test and what you value most out of said player. And so I get why some people might view Miles Turner as the objectively better player because of that. But at the same time, I can also understand why we as Cavs fans might feel that Jarrett Allen is the better player. In the head-to-head, Jarrett Allen has been better. In the long run, I guess you could say statistically, Jarrett Allen has been better. But at the end of the day, there will always be people out there that see his lack of floor spacing ability and use that as a knock against him because it limits his game. And while that may be true, I think Jarrett Allen has gotten to a point where he plays his role so damn well, although he is a role player. But he is like the all-star of role players at what he does. He is so efficient with his looks. He has a huge rim to turn. He can defend in space. There's a lot of different ways that you can utilize Jarrett Allen that do not involve direct floor spacing. But at the end of the day, there will always be people out there that see his inability to do that as a weapon against him. Conversely, for Miles Turner, he has clear limitations as well. He cannot defend in space, although he is a great rim deterrent. He is not necessarily a highly efficient player on the offensive side of the ball, but he can provide you with offensive spacing, which is very important in today's NBA. So it's understandable. I guess it just depends upon which side of the fence that you find yourself on. For me, I happen to think that Jarrett Allen is the superior player, but I can also understand the rationale for having Miles Turner listed above him. But that to me brings to mind the question, do we value floor spacing most from our bigs these days? Is that the biggest skill set that you look towards for a big man? Is that the only thing that matters to some of these people out here? That's a question that I would love to have answered. And so if you're watching over on YouTube, make sure to, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about that. To me, I think it is relative because we have fallen in love with these stretch fours and stretch fives that provide you with floor spacing, but may be lacking in other areas, whether that be rebounding, whether that be rim deterrence. Is floor spacing that important that we forgo some of these other things, or that we kind of put to the back seat some of these other things like what I just mentioned? Or do you find yourself kind of in the middle between the two? I don't know. I guess it's up to who is evaluating here, but Hoops Hype, the lovely people over here at Hoops Hype, who are generally on, spot on with many of their rankings, have Jarrett Allen listed at 12. I think that is fair, and to be fair, they have Evan Mobley as number 9, the number 9 power forward in their latest rankings. And so I generally like the direction that they carry these rankings in, but I can definitely understand why some people may believe that this one is not necessarily as accurate as we have seen. To round out the rest of this list here, you got Nikola Vucevic at 13. You have Naz Reid, a player who's, I think we all wanted in Cleveland at some point in time, at 14. You got DeAndre Ayton at 15 in Portland. Derek Lively at 16, Nicholas Claxton at 17, Isaiah Hartenstein, former Cavalier, at number 18, Brook Lopez, as old as he is, at number 19. You got Daniel Gafford at 20, Yusuf Nurkic at 21, Jonas Valanciunas at 22, Bobby Portis, very underrated in my opinion, at 23, Mark Williams in Charlotte at 24, you have Clint Capella at 25, you got Vika Zubac, another former Cavalier, at 26. He just inked a extension. Pretty happy for him. Jalen Duren is definitely a solid player, and I think that JB being over there, he probably is going to get the most out of Duren. Al Horford, newly crowned champion, very, very happy for him at 28. Wendell Carter Jr. of the Magic, who the Cavaliers will face pretty early on in the season, at 29. And rounding out the list here at number 30 is Steven Adams, who now suits up for the Houston Rockets. This man missed all of last season. I'm very interested to see what he will look like during 2024-25. He's going to be the same back to the basket, elite screen setting big man that he has kind of always been, or will he have lost a step or two? I think it's very fair to question all of these things, but at the end of the day, I do like the rankings that we see here. I do think that they are accurate for the most part, although I do kind of take umbrage with Turner being listed above Jarrett Allen. But at the end of the day, it's fair. It is definitely coming down to opinions, and that's what these rankings are all about, and that's what makes these so damn fun to sift through. And so, with that being said, as I always tell you guys, if you'd like to reach out, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you want to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com. If you want to support the podcast in a small but helpful way, consider becoming a member over on Patreon. You can do so for as little as $1 over there. That said, go Cavs.